person, there he is right there, he is with Kicked Up, and he is asking for signatures on this piece of paper. I signed it. So what the deal is, and let me tell you what's going on, because it's very important. If we can get your signature, I really appreciate it. You won't be out any money. That won't happen. So.
Okay, and I'll be giving a presentation here. Okay, just really quickly. The county is involved in what's called a hazard mitigation plan, something required by FEMA every 5 years. The federal government gives out a grant, and the county has to match part of that, rather than use county funds to pay for that, to pay for this plan, which is required by law. We're actually just going to use matched participation. So therefore, everyone involved in this meeting who listens to this meeting, we can then count you as towards our match requirements. So that way, rather than spend county money to get your signature, we fulfill our portion of the county's fulfilled what's required by it. That makes sense, everybody? So I'm going to pass around. I have 2 sheets because there's 2 federal grants, PDM and FMA. So your signatures are much appreciated. Basically, we're getting about $40 per person that's here. So see, there's a lot of people here. So we fulfill our match requirements. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would appreciate you all putting your signature on it. Like you said, we get $40 per signature. And since the money, it's our money that went to Washington, D.C., don't get me started on that one. But if we can get some of our money back from the Washington, D.C., that's awesome. Because once they get it, they'll let go of it. We're going to begin with what I don't know for sure is the most important part of the meeting. And that is a prayer and then the pledge to our United States flag. We have the Reverend Billy Green, who's going to come up here and lead us in close. Let's stand. Good morning, Reverend Billy.
That's Chaplain.
Chaplain.
But that's okay.
Billy?
Thank
Right,
you. Thank you for having me. Let's just go. Lord Heavenly Father, we just come to you in that blessed name of Jesus. Lord, we thank you for watching over us, Lord, and loving us even when we're unlovable. And God, I come to you for these leaders here today and the leaders of our nation. God, I just ask you to guide and direct. Lord, just they need your wisdom. Lord, we need your direction, and we need to do the right things that are pleasing to you. Help us, Lord, to make the right decisions. Guide and direct us. Keep your hand upon us. And Father, bless these people that are here today. Lord, we ask you these things in that precious name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brother Billy.
Yes, thank you.
I am very happy to see so many yellow-shirted people. These folks are with the room in the inn with Pam and Carl Rogers. They are the leaders of the group. And what this means is that they help those who are homeless or who need a hand up. What I really like about this group that has the yellow shirts is they give a hand up instead of a hand out. Folks who are helped by this group must follow certain rules and get back into society and be good citizens of society. So I'm really glad all of y'all are here, and I'm looking forward to hearing Brother Carl. I call him Brother Carl. And he will talk in just a few minutes. So we're good to go on that one. And let me say this with the people who are in here. There have been so many tragedies in the United States just within the last couple of weeks. If you see anything suspicious, report it to 911. I think that is our best way of keeping ourselves protected. A friend of mine sent me a video of what a certain law enforcement agency in this country is doing. And that person said, which I believe, we are the first responders before the official first responders get there. So let me encourage you to be proactive and prepare yourselves. And definitely, if you see anything suspicious, call 911. I feel very safe and secure in Alva County, very safe and secure in Alva County. I see several law enforcement folks here. I just want us to stay aware. I don't want us to be a victim. And I know we can stay safe if we stay aware and be proactive. Law enforcement folks, do y'all want to say anything, Carl? Want to say anything to that effect? Thank you. I thank our sheriff's deputy for being here, Carl Trent. We have other law enforcement here. I thank y'all so much for being here. Okay, well, as Americans, let's be proactive and take care of one another. Again, for the third time, if something suspicious is seen, then call 911 and let's not be a victim. We live in the greatest country in America, and I know we live in the best county in the country. That's without doubt. Okay, moving on. Does everybody have an agenda? We have agendas right there in the back. Well, we're going to move on to our agenda. Number 4, treasurer's transfer report. Ms. Short.
Yes, ma'am. Those transfers were presented to you in your packet, and that's dated for June the 30th of 2016.
Motion to approve transfer report.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Lee, you may call the roll.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Rego?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Short. Presentation and approval of all bills.
Make a motion to approve all bills.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Williams, you may call the roll.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Rego?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And the treasurer's report, Ms. Short.
Yes, ma'am. This quite lengthy. Presented to you in your packet. This is your annual closeout, which contains an appropriation condition report, a monthly revenue journal, a warrant distribution, a long-term liability report, a fund receipt report, a revenue journal transfer, a financial statement through June 30th of 2016, and then the annual settlement for Bullitt County Fiscal Court dated July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. With a final carryover of the disbursement account being $2,239,139.51, the LDA $402,533.18, and for the forest fire account $706.12. This is for your approval and to report to the Department of Local Government.
Put a motion for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Williams, you may call the roll.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Rego?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Short. Approval of the minutes of July the 5th, 2016.
Make a motion we approve the minutes. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Ms. Williams, you may call the roll.
Mr. Rego?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And now we have presentations by Eric Dennison of KIPTA, and he's going to talk about the KIPTA Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Eric, take it away.
Thank you, Judge. Now, for those who don't know, KIPTA is one of the area development districts. There's 15 in the state of Kentucky. We assist with a lot of different things, but a lot of this technical planning we essentially work through the state to help local governments. For example, Mike Phillips, your unit director, this is a pretty extensive project. Now, we're going to go through it. I'm going to try to keep this presentation pretty short. So one of the things we do is, it's going to be about 10 minutes, and I thank you for your participation. Basically, about every 5 years we need to update this plan. We just did an update. Normally, some of these updates cost money. The federal government is willing to pay for us, as long as we have match dollars, and hence the sheets going around, and we have 2 of them because there's 2 different grants that are going to cost. So really quickly, hazard mitigation affecting the KIPTA region. The KIPTA region is what we call Bullitt County, Jefferson, Henry, Oldham, Shelby, Spencer, and Trimble. These 7 counties make up a population of around a little over 1 million people. So this hazard mitigation plan is a way to measure hazards, natural hazards in our area, and then how do we keep people safe from this? How do we effectively plan to mitigate these damages? So every 5 years has to be updated. Hazard mitigation is any sustained action taken to reduce or eliminate long-term risk to people and their property from hazards. So for example, we know a lot of tornadoes hit. This area is a big example of that. So we might create tornado safe rooms. We might create ordinances that affect how we build. Property acquisition, if we know something's in a flood zone. Relocation, stormwater management, sirens for warnings to let people know. These are all examples of hazard mitigation, something that the federal government actually wants every local municipality to engage in. So this is what this plan looks at. And basically, as I said, the hazard mitigation plan is the process we've used to identify these risks. We know that tornadoes hit this region. We know that flood hit this region. How can we mitigate future damages? FEMA has a statistic for every $1 spent in mitigation planning, you will save $4. So this actually does have not only monetary purposes, but life safety purposes. Under the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000, it requires a FEMA-approved local hazard mitigation plan for a condition of receiving funds. A disaster happens and FEMA funds are available, which counties, cities should take advantage of. You have to have this plan in place. This is what we did. So if we want FEMA dollars to help aid in our recovery, we have this plan in place, and every 5 years we come out and do this. So these are the types of grants that are available. Pre-disaster mitigation, hazard mitigation, flood, and other things. So why do we create a plan? Well, it mitigates damages, saves lives. That's the best reason. So we're actually saving lives when we think about our planning. Everything from ordinances to road building in this nation. It saves money. In order to be eligible, once again, it opens up these funding sources. We can also use different various funding sources from this plan because if we're creative, basically, if it's mentioned in your plan, then you can apply for it, as long as it's hazard mitigated related. And this goes back to our saying local match. Instead of the county actually spending funds using your tax dollars, your participation here pays for that. That way the county's not having money. And as Judge Roberts says, it stays here. So that's the good part about it. It's required by the government. They make you do it. And so once again, just the participants, you can see all the cities, the incorporated cities in Bullitt County, from Fox Chase to Shepherdsville. As I mentioned before, this plan actually covers Bullitt County, Henry, Oldham, Shelby, Spencer, and Trimble. And just to kind of know what I was saying, just from the 2014 estimates, the 6 counties of Bullitt, Henry, Oldham, Shelby, Spencer, Trimble, about 250,000 people. So in 2014, Bullitt County had about 78,000 people. That number's gone up. If you add Jefferson County in there, we're right at 1 million. So this is the number of lives that are affected by this. And so once I go into a little bit more, you'll understand. So the roles of participants government, we do things like this. We hold meetings. We've been coming to your local emergency planning committee meetings. We've been garnering, soliciting participation from various, we have, police, fire, citizens, people in planning and zoning. So some of the roles are just, adopting some of the ideas that are created. So what have we done? We've got with each EMA director. The last update was in 2011. We've conducted 18 countywide risk assessment meetings, which are basically, we look at what our risks are. Well, there's, a big example of tornadoes here, some years past. So we look at things like that. We know that this area is prone to tornadoes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put money into helping with tornado prevention. We wouldn't put it into volcano eruption or coastal flooding because that doesn't happen. Tornadoes happen. We know that. So sections of the plan, this is just kind of, really plan overview, prerequisites, risk assessments, mitigation. We'll go through that. The current plan actually just got approved a few weeks ago. It's go.kipta.org if anyone wants to read a 600-page planning document of technical and hazard mitigation. Definitely you do, but so there it is. So we looked at hazard profiles real quickly. These are all natural. So basically everything in this area from dam failure, drought, earthquake, flood, hailstorm, karst, which is sinkholes, landslides, and then the big ones, severe storms, severe winter storm, tornadoes, forest fires, and then extreme temperatures, extreme hot and cold. We're noticing those are starting to affect the things that we have around. We're having to spend money. We did a matrix, so we actually, rather than just say that tornadoes hit, we took the damage losses just from government-owned facilities in the last 50 years, 55. For example, 1960, 2015, tornadoes alone have caused over almost $200 million, with an average annual loss of about $3.5 million a year in this region. Flood, $2.1 million. Severe storms, about $350,000 a year just from these 6 counties alone. So this is our average annual loss. So we may have a big event that happens, like say a tornado just rips through an entire city. We would count that over the average. So look at these losses. So we're looking at ways to mitigate these losses. And that's the whole point of this plan. So there's some astounding numbers. The tornadoes are the biggest one. And as I keep mentioning to you guys, I believe you guys are part of the reason for that. So the mitigation measures, these are the things that we look at. We might implement floodplain insurance. We identify those risks, and then other things that kind of help out to mitigate these damages. So, as I said before, we conduct countywide meetings, we present types of actions, and they're all on the plan. It may be everything from road slick coatings, like we know during rain, we might coat the roads. We might, these are standard, we clear limbs and treeways, create ordinances for culverts and subdivisions, things that stop, that create irrigation basins. That way, during flooding, it has a washout. Or that the way we build a certain code. The reason being is it has safety standards that help. When we came out to the counties, we actually solicited participation from everybody involved. And what that meant is they gave us ideas to add to the plan. In the past, we had things, various mitigation actions, like city ordinances, but we added a bunch of new stuff, like street signs corrections, stuff that we can use federal dollars to pay for versus using our own money that we can open up. As we talked about the non-slip road coding, risk mapping, safe rooms, tree removal from roadways and streams, structural projects where we have culverts and subdivisions or roadways, bridge road elevation. Those are another examples of mitigation techniques. We have a road that gets washed out. We might want to elevate it. Well, when we elevate it, we get the federal government, hopefully we get the federal government to pay for it. But those are kind of things you see. Oldham County has some houses that are being elevated. So these are all types of mitigation actions. And you can kind of look, this is also good for our first responders. Portable signages for warnings. Say there's a part of the road that's washed out. We can put up signs. Personal protection suits for the fire departments. Cameras for congested areas to warn people of hazards. New technologies are being introduced all the time. Drones. If you think about it, 5 years ago, not everyone had a drone. Now there's a lot of them. We can actually get these kind of drones through federal dollars for hazard mitigation. You want to survey an area that we've done a project. So as new technology enters, these meetings become a little more important because we can incorporate technology into our plan faster and get funding before anybody else, which is a big key. So it's kind of a race throughout the country. Something to think about social media since the last plan, and I like these stats a lot. So social media, 70% of Americans have a smartphone now. I think that number's increased. So the iPhone was introduced about 8-9 years ago. My guess is that most people in this room have a smartphone. Okay, we can send real-time warning to people. Well, maybe one person doesn't. Okay, so we got. Well, if we go by the average, 70%. So 7 out of 10 people statistically have a smartphone. So we can send real-time warnings through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Your emergency management here in Bullitt County, through my quotes, has a Facebook page. If you want to know what's going on, go look at it. It just helps the community be more aware and more prepared. So these are just kind of statistics how we incorporate technology into hazard mitigation. And it's kind of the neat thing is just technology is increasing. Everybody sees that. If you think about smartphones, just in 8 years, everyone has one. I think that's the craziest thing. So plan maintenance over these 5 years, we're probably going to come out once a year, usually to your local emergency planning committees. And then we're going to evaluate, has there been any new technologies, has there been any new changes that have occurred that we need to implement immediately? It could be there's some new technology that comes out like drones. Like I said, 5 years ago, drones weren't really around, personal drones, now they are. We can use them, and not only that, you can use them for other agencies. So you might have one agency that's, you know, they bought a facility that has mitigation. Well, we're going to use it to survey other things, so it costs different departments. So input is important to the plan for that reason. Each agency represented, the LAPC meetings got everybody from police, sheriff, fire, local businesses that all have a stake in the game of making sure that things are good. And we actually took that participation, put it into the plan, and wrote what people specifically said to add to it. So FEMA really liked that. So what I said, the yearly mitigation meetings, and that's about it. If anybody has any questions over the plan, I'm more than happy to ask me. And I appreciate everybody taking time to listen.
Thank you, Eric. Any questions for Eric?
Thank you. And then lastly, there'll be a resolution, just a little bit.
I was going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you go, this is number 1 under new business. Action requested on resolution number 1618, adoption of the Fiscal Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan.
And this is once again required if we want federal dollars. Not really political, I mean, people, most places like money. And, you know, it's basically where they get that money.
The only question is, we have to mention it. We have to mention it.
Well, it depends on the grant specifically. Some things like Trimble County, when they had their declaration back in last July, they were available for public assistance. There was no payback on that. It depends on the severity of the disaster and what funding is open up. But in order just to be eligible for any of the types of funding, you have to have it according to the Disaster Mitigation Act.
I make a motion to accept the resolution to get mitigation.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Mead, you may call the roll.
Jeff Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Michael.
Yes.
Mr. Rico.
Yes.
Thanks, Mr. Williams. Thank you so much, Eric, for your work and your service, and we look forward to receiving some money from the federal government to help us with emergency situations.
Appreciate those. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's kind of one thing is when people come to visit, the first thing we ask them is to bring in money.
I'm trying. We actually do have a couple things in the work that I've been working with my folks, and hopefully we'll know in the next few months. We'll bring in at least, more opportunity.
Let's go ahead and have Carl Rogers with Room in the Inn, if you don't mind, Carl. Come on up and talk about the Room in the Inn again. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Judge Roberts, magistrates, part of my city supporters,
Aaron, you want to have this office? You mind?
and great citizens at large. I encourage you to just be here for a few moments to share with you. You know, there's a song from many years ago, old rock and roll songs. I couldn't sleep a week last night because you were on my mind. That's about where I just wanted so excited about being here. And Kathy Jennings is a seminary student working with us from Campbellsville University. And my real calling in life is to play an auctioneer, so do this, and I'll slow down a bit and take these few minutes right here to share with you. My goal today is twofold. One is to give you an update on the Room in the Inn, and the second is to put in a request for a county building that may be available in the days to come for us to work out of. Last night we had dinner at First Christian Church, our Christian church here in Shepherdsville, and they have a chef I could attend there, Chef Jerry, and it was incredible. And then we retired to Family Worship Center where we spent the night at last night. And this week will be some of the churches that will be helping us out and working with us. First Baptist Church, Shepherdsville, Cedar Grove Baptist, Shepherdsville Christian, Family Worship Center, Faith Assembly of God Church at LJ, First Baptist Church, Mount Washington, Calvary Holiness at Brooks, and First Assembly of God Church in Mount Washington. So we'll be going to all these places this week to make things happen Over 5,000 nights to safe drive shelter, 14, 16 hours a day. Get them to work very, very quickly. We had 2 go to the Social Security office detail yesterday and get our I-9 information together. And then 4 to 6 weeks is the stay, men, women, and children, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, logged over 75,000 volunteer hours to date. It's going incredibly well. Our Lady of Peace Hospital has given us 3 vehicles to work with, and the community at large has been so responsive and so helpful in the endeavors that we are going forward. We coined the phrase that we're living by and being happy to die by: structure plus accountability equals self-sufficiency. Judge Roberts mentioned earlier, it's a hand up and not a hand out. We're finding to be incredibly effective. We have numbers to show that we've saved the community around $225,000 in the lack of panhandling and church solicitation over the past 15 months here in our community. We're proud to have church representation in every part of the county. We're about 40 churches strong, on our way to 70 churches, I think, by maybe February of next year. Our goal is to have 30 overnight locations. We're about 12 right now, and we want to get 1 church per night across the community. We have about 20 business civic groups involved with us right now, our goal of 40, and we're well on our way to reaching those goals. And that is where we are as we speak. I kind of keep looking over my shoulder because things are going so incredibly well with Room in the Inn. It's very effective. We have launched about 90 family units. That could be a family of 6 or an individual displaced folk in our community coming in with literally nothing and walking out after 4 to 6 weeks to their own place again. And it's just incredible that it works as well as it does. We've got the model from Room in the Inn National, a 33-year-old history, and this past year, Nelson County and Martin County have implemented the same program in a limited fashion based off our model here. Building needs, a laptop and a couch and a post office box. It's hard to do some serious business, you know, with this right here. And we need a building to work out of, and that is what I'm asking for, is that consideration today. We would use that building in a number of ways. We would share space with other like-minded charities. Number one, there's other charities in town that needs storage and needs a place to work out of. It would serve as a white flag location. We need that place in the wintertime when it falls below 32 degrees in our community where people can gather and be taken care of. It would provide for another community meal through the week. I had dinner last night at First Baptist Church Shepherdville. It was incredible. It was very good, with 2 fishes offered a night a week, and then First Baptist Church, and plug in another weekly meal for our people through the week would be a great idea. A free community store. We did this about 12 years ago locally. We provided Christmas to 265 families who couldn't afford Christmas, working in conjunction with the school system. You get this national brands for free, and they're all returned, and the business gets full tax credit for giving them to a nonprofit, and it's a win-win situation. We averaged $1,000 a family that year across the board for all these folk. It was incredible. What we want to do is bring that idea back and base the idea on life skill classes, perhaps even church attendance perhaps, where they can earn points and credits toward going on a free shopping spree. We also are working and are very close to launching Bullitt Counter Labor Ready, where we'll have a location from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. here in the community, where anybody, farmers and self-contractors, can come by and pick up a couple of folk for work that day. Sometimes it takes our people a couple of weeks to get their I-9 stuff together and to get employed in a job. And so this way, our folk and other people in the community can go to work the same day by this labor-ready concept, and we're going to be providing hats and gloves and food and water and things like that. 6 days a week, 7 to 9 in the day, and I think it's going to be a great benefit to our folk as well as other people in town. That's the goals of Heart of My City. Room in the Inn is the first ministry out of the box, and we have yet a lot of work to do in growing and maturing that concept. But we're well on our way, and we're really thrilled about the status of Room in the Inn. The other idea is that we just take the resources to do this, and mainly resources I talk about building. We as an organization, we are going to follow our motto as well. Structure plus accountability equals self-sufficiency. So we'll be doing Cardboard City in October. It'll be a major fundraiser for us. We're going to fill the park up with cardboard boxes, and folks are renting out their cardboard boxes and things like that. It is an incredible fundraiser for homeless ministry. We are in a campaign right now where we are trying, we're going through our churches and soliciting $10 donors monthly on a regular basis. We hope to pick up 300 to 500 regular donors of $10 a month to help us carry, to be able to carry ourselves. One of the ideas also that I failed to mention on plans that we'd like to do is a hostel, a European-style hostel where we would run 24/7 and have a bid for someone for $12, let's say. And this is a very popular idea all across Europe, but also in some communities across the nation, where folk driving in here in the fall with all these warehouses, where they could have a cheap place to sleep with a donation, say, of $12, and be able to stay in town and work another shift or something like that instead of driving back. Let me see. I want to take questions from you all. I want to read our vision statement to you as far as Heart of My City goes. Vision statement: providing hope and shelter and resource connections to the homeless or displaced in Bullitt County, Kentucky, according to the biblical model of Matthew 25:34 through 40. I know that, I always say, how you eat an elephant, take one bite at a time. And with our community support, with the government support, with our church support, we can handle that elephant by by all of us working together and coordinating our efforts. Any questions then that I may be able to answer for anyone along the ideas I just mentioned to you?
Probably ask it. You was talking about space and everything. How much space are you looking for to operate out on a daily basis? We
would be happy to start anywhere, in any size, in any condition, and grow from there. With some of the ideas I mentioned to you, we cannot have enough space, but we're looking for a start to go there, where we could access, could grow it from there. We would like to have a 35-bed hostel kind of an idea. We will always use our churches as far as our folk staying overnight. This is the key. We hope to go to 2 churches this fall, this winter, as our numbers increase, that we'll have 2 locations going on simultaneously per night, if that need be. It's unlimited how we can grow that very, very critical component of this ministry concept.
Well, I guess I'm trying to find out what kind of space do you need for your office or whatever operating out of on a day-to-day basis. I'm not talking about people lodging overnight.
Right. I'm going to say 1,200 square feet.
Well, I'm going to ask the court and everything here now, but we have some property that is not always been used. There's a former EMS building. The Red Cross has got one end of it there, but the other end is very much, it's not used. And that end over there on that might used to be in there, and I just wonder if that's a possibility. Yeah. Was there a contract signed with the Red Cross previously, or?
I think so. With that property, the property is we own it, but the building is owned by somebody else. But Mike Wilson will know about that, so that's kind of Mike and want to start. You know about the building that the Red Cross is in right now?
The EMS.
That's a nice building.
The only thing I know is we did sign a lease. I'm not sure how long it's for. I want to say 10
if I'm not mistaken, it's a 10-year lease on the building for the Red Cross. And they renovated it and everything else. So their offices are up front and then their training room is in the back. How much they're utilizing now, I don't know.
It's also very, very accessible. 98% of our folks are without transportation, so that would be a great access to be able to walk to that location within the city.
Yes, very the city. Every time I've been in there, it was been involved with across the 100 years. And I just never seen it utilized very much. How great it is where the microphone talks about it. We're sitting there, they use it for the office part and everything, but the rear part of it is, I've never seen that. And I don't know if something can be worked out there to do across the line. We like to be away there.
Well, I'll suggest that Carl wants to get in contact with Mike Crenshaw, who directs that.
Mike was very helpful for support. He started us off with a number of cots when we first started out, and they were very, very helpful. Great. Great. Well, good morning to you. Thank you all so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.
You are welcome. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for your service. Appreciate it. Let's bring up Jailer Knox. Good morning, Jailer Knox. You're going to be on today.
Good morning. Basically, all I have is the Mark Davis contract. Originally, he had put in the top paragraph of my intention, and we changed that to this and this report. That can be addressed as a contract. You all get this in your pocket. Many hours, and I don't have the time to report like the charges, but I personally know that there's a lot of times that we work a little bit more than what we have to target. And he also, this past week, for the past 3-4 weeks, we're having trouble with our audio video arraignment court system that is not technically under this contract. But we can get it right fix it. We went from one train, we went to audio video, we went around the courthouse, saying it was ours, they were saying it was the courthouse, it's just a big mess. So eventually we called Mark in just to see what he could tell us. And he was the one that went in and said, well, you know, this artist wrote it. So he took it to a little box apart and was able to get our hand going. And we spent many hours trying to find somebody to fix it. So he was able to come in and get our end running. So he is very valuable to us.
So is the total price $9,400? And does he just breaks it down how many hours he's going to spend?
Yes, he does. He breaks it down. So he does all our communication between Jeff Tracker, which is our main system. He works with them. Anything inside of the facility is I work on, that's all him. He does all our service stuff, all our backup. He takes care of all that info.
I make a motion to accept Tape's computer services maintenance and support agreement $94.50.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Ms. Reed, can you call the roll?
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo?
Yes.
Mr. Mayfield?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Motion carries.
The Spencer County contract, I haven't heard back from them yet. I was hoping to, but I haven't yet. When they expressed anything for us. But I do want to hear back from them because it was raised, which, in my opinion, I don't think that's a whole lot for, I know it's been over 15 years. So I don't think that's enough to raise. So if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. That's the way I feel about it. I feel like we gave them a reasonable price versus the other counties. And if they want to use this as a pay, if not, we have plenty of our own. Is there anything else for me?
If you talk to Mike, if they ordered the beans.
Yes, they were processing to do that. So, everything else seems to be going okay at the time.
Moisture.
No, no, right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Director Rouse, are you ready to get your departmental report? Good morning, Director.
Good morning. I don't have much today, starting out on the budget, 2016, 2017. I want to thank you all for working with me on this year's budget. As usual, blacktop and only 10. We've got the guy started mowing, and doing a great job. That's going well. And potholes is always a big thing. We're working on them. And that's really about it on the budget. I don't have much good numbers right now. We just started having them. So, yeah, no big blacktop bills coming in. So, pretty much a scratch on it.
The rain put it behind.
Well, it has a little, but we've been, we really did it much more. Yesterday we missed it, I called it off, rains.
I say you look on it.
We have to, yes, we did. We had some trees down and stuff. I got called out Friday night on trees, so I got to clean that up and some other issues. So, other than that, it's fine. You want to wait on the
Well, go ahead. Thank you, Mike. Under old business, number 2, action is requested on purchase of 2 dump trucks for the road department. And this was on July 5th. This is for agenda.
Right. Lisa brought it up the other day. We haven't ever done that in the paper. So we do need to run that right. But then this last court wanted to check on some insurance, and I have Kenworth only offering on the engines and the emissions, and that's a big problem. That's everybody's issues on the emissions. But they're offering 2,700 a truck extra on there for that. International and Freightliner offer the everything for like $4,700 piece on there. So, Peterbilt offer is $2,500, but it's on the emissions too. So Freightliner also offers a 2-year warranty where everybody else is offering a year. So you're getting an extra year. Perfect World, Kenworth is probably the best truck. So we've got 2 Freightliners, and they're just as good, you know, they service well, and they're considerably cheaper. So we're like $85,000 on the Freightliner for 2 of them, and $305,000 on Kenworth for 2 of them. So it's cheaper. The only thing, we're having to go across the river, and when we start to tow, I don't know how we're going to handle that. And it's almost a weekly basis, but at least every other week we have to go over the cars. Freightliners are the only ones over here that's international. I was against international at first, but they've gone for Cummings engine and Cummings emissions, and that was international so problem with emissions and engines, so they had changed engines. I'm not so down on them now, so good. But I do know Freightliner, we got 2 of them, the truck we get quoted is exactly what we got.
everything you would include in the bid and everything for this extended work and everything? Or they'll give you a quote on that also?
Yeah, what they do, it's a year before you can get offer to you.
Is that only every one of them?
Well, Freightliner, I'm not really for sure on theirs. The other ones was you had to wait because they offered one free year, and Freightliner offers two, so they might go 2 years before you have to pay for it. So, but I'll check it out when we do it. You know, the fit for it. But like I said, I'm okay with the Freightliner. There's nothing wrong with the drugs. So. And they are cheap. That's the cheapest quote of all of them.
That give you a next, between this meeting and the next, whenever they get advertised, they get back with it.
Oh, yeah. I want to make this happen pretty quick because it's getting late. You know, we're looking at 3 months, 4 months out. Trying to place a order in on it.
So,
Yeah, that way, the thing that I was really stressing everything, this equipment, when they're changing, and then we got this extended working. That's critical, right? We don't have to really make it.
I do like it, but all of them said that most counties, cities don't have to want these for whatever reason, I don't know, but I do like it.
Yeah, I like first try, because when you look at that small amount of money compared to things that can go wrong, you need 5 years over
The emissions and truck 16s cost us about $14,000 on emissions. Caterpillar is offered a rebate or a warranty thing, so we applied for that, so some money back on that. So they got sued over it, so we're earning some money loose on them. So that too.
I'll make most of the cases until he gets all that worked out. Paper and everything.
I'll second that. We have a motion and a second to table this until August the 2nd. Next fiscal court meeting, any questions or discussion on that? No, with that? Okay. Ms. Lee, we'll call the roll.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Mr. Laszlo.
Yes.
Mr. Grego.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yeah.
So I need to get with you, Lisa, on putting that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I like trying to get it. It's too late for Mondays.
Thank you, Director. Director Richardson? Good morning, Director Richardson.
Good morning. That's one of these in your box, I should have received it. The last month of the fiscal year, from June 1st to June 30th, 2015, we brought in $9,375.50. Same time frame this year, we brought in $15,318.11, which we saw an increase of $5,942.61. We did a total of 66 structures in the county and in the cities, which is a difference of 1 structure decrease from last year, which was 67. Future projects is there's O'Reilly Holiday Parks going in Mount Washington, corner of Water Street and Highway 44. Planning Commission just approved several subdivisions last Thursday. Twin Ball River Crest Section 4, the Highland Section 1, the Villas of Cherry Hill, Washington Commons Section 3. All 4 of those are in Mount Washington. And then Grand Oaks Estate Section 2, which is getting ready to be annexed into the city of Bullitt. At the end of the fiscal year, we used 85% of our budget. Our projected receipts for the 2015-2016 year was, I believe, $100,000. We brought in $148,125, so we saw about a 48% increase. Our projected.
What was the increase?
About 48%.
40%. Any questions for Director Richardson? Thank you. Thank you very much. Director Williams. Good morning, Director Williams.
Good morning.
You know how quick these last 2 were.
Pretty quick.
Go ahead, another thing,
Animal control brought in $3,345 last month. It was 39 adoption fees, 71 county license, 49 drop-off fees, 6 pickup fees. We sold 1 kennel license. And then we had 3 money donations. And that equaled out to $3,345. And I didn't have no numbers really for my percentage of the budget, but I did have $7,807.01 left over from the last budget. And I can tell you that I spent starting from the new budget, I spent $1,142, which I don't have a percentage for that until it starts with treasurer. And I got that listed, but you know, what I spent that on, like 7 different vehicles. And then the new truck, it should arrive in 2 to 4 more weeks. I think they said they got 6 more trucks ahead of us to deliver. And then last meeting, Master Mitchell asked me to find out what the shelter brought in 2014-15 and compare it to the 15-16 year. And 14-15 it brought in $2,288.67. And then 15-16 it brought in $25,186. And that's about $4,000 difference. So it's about, staying roughly about the same like there. So that's about all I got this meeting.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Good job.
Are there any questions? Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
And Larry Hatfield is on vacation, but his report is in your packet. Judge, were you supposed to read this or anything? Okay. So if there's any questions on Larry's report, you can ask him when he gets back. Okay, under old business, second reading of zoning ordinance 2016-16, Lauren and David Laswell.
The applicants Lauren and David Laswell are asking to rezone 2.1376 acres from more or less from agricultural to R1. Planning Commission sends a favorable recommendation to fiscal court because the requested zone change is in agreement to adopt the comprehensive plan.
And Mr. Flaherty, good morning to you. We haven't heard from you this morning, so welcome.
Thank you. The zoning ordinance number 16-17, series 2016, an ordinance changing the zoning from agricultural to R1 residential. The property in question is 2.1376 acres, more or less, located on Parker Lane in an unincorporated area of the county. Whereas the fiscal court of Bullitt County considered the evidence of the public hearing held by the Planning Commission and the recommendation of the Commission. And whereas the fiscal court concurs in and adopts the reason of the Planning Commission for said zoning change and approves and accepts the recommendations of the Planning Commission in this matter and set out in said minutes. Now therefore be ordained by the fiscal court of Bullitt County, Kentucky, Section 1, that the above property located in the unincorporated area of Bullitt County, and more particularly described in the minutes and records of the Planning Commission in document number 2016-Z-16, is hereby changed from agricultural to R1 residential. Section 2, this ordinance takes effect upon passage and publication. During the first reading of the regular meeting of the fiscal court of Bullitt County, Kentucky on the 5th day of July 2016. During the second reading and voted upon at the regular meeting of the Bullitt County Fiscal Court on the 19th day of July 2016.
Thank you, Lauren. Action is requested.
Make a motion to accept docket 2016-Z-16.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion on that motion? And Ms. Williams, you may call the vote.
Mr. Laswell?
Yes.
Mr. Reagan?
Yes.
Judge Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Lawson.
Yes.
Motion carried. Paul, Brian, anything else from you?
Thank you all very much. And last but not least, we have number 3 on our agenda, under old business. Action is requested on hiring an electrical inspector for enforcement. And Director Bozeman, good morning to you.
Morning, Judge.
Thanks, sir.
At this time, I would like to request action from the fiscal court that upon one firm's retirement, which will be, I believe, effective a week from Friday, coming up very soon, that upon his retirement, that Ronnie Blankenship, his salary be adjusted to $45,968, which is the current salary of Lawrence Froman, and make a recommendation that Mike Clayton be hired as electrical inspector at the salary of $44,000. And also that upon level 2 building inspector certification, Ronnie Blankenship receives an additional $1,500 salary to make him able to inspect all buildings under our jurisdiction. And that also upon certification for 1 and 2 family inspector, that Mr. Fillon will receive an additional $1,500 in the salary so he could inspect all the houses under the department's jurisdiction. And the combined salaries are within our current budget that has been passed by the court.
So, Mike, who's your replacement?
He would be technically replacing Lawrence, who would be retiring. But upon hiring a new inspector, Ronnie Blankenship would basically have 7 more years seniority than a new employee. But in essence, we want to move Ronnie into that senior inspector's role based on his seniority and experience with the county.